Now, coming to the black body radiation, which I spoke to you the last class, let me tell you once again about the black body radiation. Now, I told you once again that in the last class, the black body means, it does not mean that the body is black in color, but the body which is a good absorber as well as a good emitter, it's called as a black body radiation. Now, it is being explained by this, what you can say, electromagnetic wave theory. Could not explain this particular thing, but the Planck's quantum theory is able to explain this black body radiations. Alright, electromagnetic wave theory could not explain about the black body radiations. It is Planck's quantum theory. We will come to know about it. We came to know about it. Alright, so I told you the last class. Again, once again, a little bit I am saying from here because I am going to continue from here itself. So, when you are heating a particular substance, let us say a metal, that is metal we are taking, what is that? Iron ball we are taking. We are heating an iron ball. So, what happens is that when you are heating that particular solid, the atoms of the substance it gains more and more, and as you are heating more and more, it gains more and more energy. Got it? So, when it gains more and more energy, that is, it emits radiations of the frequency, isn't it? As you are heating, it is gaining energy. It is emitting radiation of frequency. Let us say the frequency which is emitted is nothing but nu. I told you the frequency is measured by the letter nu. This is a symbol of frequency. Now, as heating is continued, more and more energy is being absorbed. As I said you, as heating is continuing, more and more energy is going to be absorbed by the metal. And it is going to absorb, it's going to, what you can say, emit energy also of higher, what you can say, frequency. Now, you know that last class I said you, that is VIBGYOR. Alright, VIBGYOR. So, what you find is that it increases in this way, VIBGYOR, isn't it? So, here what you find, the wavelength is maximum. Here, the wavelength is minimum. Alright, the frequency is, here it is maximum. Clear? Again I repeat, the wavelength is minimum here. So, the frequency will be maximum. Why? Because C is equal to nu lambda. So, nu is equal to C by lambda. So, nu is inversely proportional to lambda. If lambda is more, the frequency will be less. So, here the, what you can say, the violet is having the least wavelength. I told you the last class, it ranges from 400 nanometer to 800 nanometer. Isn't it? In electromagnetic wave theory you have studied. So, in this way, what you find is that if the lambda is the least, alright, then the frequency is the maximum. Alright, here the lambda is the maximum. Listen carefully. Frequency is minimum. So, when you are heating a body, first it appears red to you. After that, when you are heating, it absorbs more and more energy. And it emits, what you can say, frequency of higher and higher. So, higher means this is higher. The wavelength is increasing in this way, but the frequency is increasing in this particular manner. So, when you are heating a particular body, first it appears red to you. Then after that it appears yellow, or then after that it appears blue, and after that when all the color they combines, it appears to you white. I told you last class. This is how it happens in a black body radiations, which is explained by the Planck's quantum theory. So, it proves that a single, what you can say, color is not emitted. A different color is emitted at different stages of heating. Why it is emitted? Because it absorbs energy more and more. So, it emits also frequency of energies more and more. So, frequency is increasing. So, first the red is having the least frequency. Whenever you are heating a particular body, it appears to you red first because it is having the least frequency, and after that the frequency is increasing. And when it becomes, what you can say, highest energies, maximum, it appears white to you. For example, you can see in your house also, that is the what you can say, the gas oven. When you are heating it first, it appears that is red, some red flames is coming out. Then after that you can see the blue flames is coming out, yellow flame and the blue flame. And ultimately when you put some object into it and your mother is cooking the food, you can't see any flame there. You can't see any flame. Between that burner and that particular object, no flame. It does not appear that some flame is there. Why? Because it appears white. It's completely hot, red hot at that particular time. We call it as energy is maximum. Alright? So, in this way, in your day-to-day life also, if you see around, you can get so many observations and you can explain many concepts. We can say that. Now, the next concept is your photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect, which I am going to say you today. Photoelectric effects. It is made up of two words, photo and electric. Photo Photoelectric effect. It is made up of two words, photo and electric. Means what? When radiations with certain minimum frequency, that is nu naught. Got it? When radiations with certain minimum, this is a minimum frequency I have taken the symbol is nu naught. Frequency is nu, the minimum frequency I have taken it. This is minimum frequency, mind it. Minimum frequency, that is nu naught. Got it? That is nu naught strikes the surface of a metal. The electrons are ejected from the surface of the metal. The phenomena is called as what you can say, electric effect. The electrons which are emitted are called as photoelectrons. Again I repeat, when light of certain frequency, minimum frequency, let us say nu naught, minimum frequencies, it is striking a metal surface. Let us say this is a metal surface I am taking it. Now light is striking upon it. Alright, the light should have a minimum frequency, that is nothing but you can say that is nu naught. I can draw a straight line, that's better, because light comes in this way, the straight line, it is falling upon here, let us say. Now here the photoelectrons are ejected out from it, the photoelectrons, you can see it is being ejected from here. Clear? So the photoelectrons which is ejected out from here, got it, this particular photoelectrons, it carries a current with it. It travels in a wire and it carries a current with it. So that particular current is called as photoelectric current. And the phenomena is known as photoelectricity. We can say the process is called photoelectricity. Very simple. And light is falling upon a particular metal, got it, which is having a minimum frequency nu naught. Then the photoelectrons are ejected. Similarly, photoelectrons means what? Electrons are being ejected. Due to light, some electrons are ejected from the surface of the metal. That is called as photoelectrons. And these photoelectrons, when it travels through a wire, it carries a current. And that particular current is called as photoelectric current. And the phenomena is known as photoelectricity. This is said to be as. Got it? Now, fine. So we'll understand it, this particular one, by the help of an experiment. Just I explained you what is photoelectric current and what is photoelectricity. Now here what will I do is that I will take an evacuated tube. This is an evacuated tube I have taken it. Alright, we are having a metal here, or you can take a metal here in this way also. This is a metal. Now this is being connected to a particular battery. Alright, this one, that is, we can say that cathode anode is there, and here we are having it. Clear? Now to find it out whether the current is flowing through it or not, what we'll do, or to measure the current also, what we'll do, we'll connect an ammeter here. You can connect a galvanometer also. Galvanometer will not measure the current. Galvanometer will find it out whether the current is flowing through it or not. The ammeter will also find it out, and also it is going to measure the current. For that reason, directly you can put an ammeter. Got it? Or first you can put a galvanometer to find it out whether the current is flowing or not. Then you can replace a galvanometer by an ammeter also. That can be done. Got it? So this is a setup, we have done it. So here this is a detector and this is the metal. This is also what is that? It's an anode, or this one you can say it's a cathode, so to say. Because this is connected to the negative terminal of the battery and this is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Finished. So here we are giving this particular name as detector, and this particular one is a metal. So when light of minimum frequency, got it, falls on the surface of this metal, falls, it is falling on the surface of this metal, got it, light, which light? Sunlight, white light, got it, if no it's there, sunlight we can say it. So it is falling on the surface of the metal. Now this particular one, it's being kept at focus, mind it, this particular detector is being kept at focus to the light which is falling upon it. Alright, that we have to set it up from the beginning, that it has to be set at focus. Clear? Because we have read it in physics that this is a mirror, we can say that, and when the light is falling upon the mirror, then the reflected ray, they meet at focus, isn't it? Clear? So this one will keep it at focus. Now why we need to do so? See, if you can keep it at focus, or you may not also. But if you keep it at focus, then what will happen is that, that is all the electrons, the photoelectrons is ejected, which is being ejected, they will meet at a particular point. They will meet at a particular point, all the photoelectrons which is ejected from the surface of the metal, they will meet at a particular point here. Clear? And after that, these electrons will be conducted with the help of the wire. Alright, that means electronic current will flow through this way, and as a result, what will happen? This particular current, which current? the that is the current from the battery. We can say that conventional current flows in this particular manner. That's it. Clear? The circuit is completed. And hence, when the current flows in this particular way, we can measure also what is the current is flowing. Because in previously, you will say that the current is flowing to the battery. Correct, it is flowing to the battery only. But there was no, what you can say, that is link between this and this, between the detector and that of the metal. But the link is created by the electrons which is being ejected. As a result, the circuit gets completed, and only the current flows through it. Alright, current is flowing to the battery only, no doubt. We are measuring the current from the battery itself. Alright, no doubt. But how the circuit is being getting completed? Because as the light is falling upon it, the photoelectrons are ejected from it. This photoelectron meet at a particular point, and hence the electron flows in this particular direction. From this to this, we can say that. From negative to positive, because this is electrons, this is your negative electrode, this is a positive electrode. From negative to positive, as a result, the conventional current flows from positive to negative. As the circuit is completed, then only the current flows. Alright, then only. And hence we are measuring it by the help of an ammeter. So what I was saying you, that if you don't keep this particular one at focus, what will happen? Some of the photoelectrons will pass from up, some will pass from below, some will go from this side. So you may get a little bit of photoelectrons, means minimum number of photoelectrons will be getting it. But if you keep it at focus, if you measure the focus and you keep it at focus, then you can see it here. Ultimately all the rays will meet here and the efficiency will be maximum. If you can keep at any point, no doubt, you will be getting the photoelectric current, no doubt about it. But the photoelectric current, the efficiency will not be much, means the current will not flow the what you can say required amount which it should flow. Why? Because the remaining, that is electrons, is not being absorbed by the detector, rather it goes away from the detector. It goes away from the detector, and hence that current is not being measured. Detector which is detecting the electron, that only is being measured, na? So here that current is not being measured. For that reason we need to keep it focus. Otherwise there is no other aim. You can keep otherwise at any point. You can keep it at any point, and you can see that the photoelectrons will meet here and the current will flow through it. And this phenomena is called as photoelectricity. So what I said you, when light of minimum frequency, that is nu naught, this is nu naught frequency, is falling upon the surface of the metal, then photoelectrons are being ejected. Now the question is, if suppose light of frequency less than that of the minimum frequency, which is also called as threshold frequency, mind it, the minimum frequency is also called as threshold frequency. Threshold, this one. What I said? Threshold frequency. Threshold frequency, we can say that. The minimum frequency. Clear? Is light of, what you can say, frequency less than that of threshold frequency is falling on the surface of the metal, then what will happen? No photoelectrons will be ejected. Because what I said you, minimum. So minimum means it's the least. Can we have less than that? No. Rather we can have more than that. We can take energy which is greater than that of nu naught. That is possible, but we cannot take energy, we cannot take frequency which is less than that of nu naught, because it does not fulfill our word also, isn't it? What I said, threshold frequency is the minimum frequency, and I will say nu is less than nu naught. The nu is the minimum, nu naught is not the minimum, isn't it? So for that particular purpose, never this idea should come to your mind that if the frequency is less than minimum frequency, then how it will be less than minimum frequency? Then that frequency will be less, isn't it? So it cannot be possible. So rather the frequency has to be more than the minimum frequency. That is possible. It cannot be less than that. Got it? Because then that particular value will be the minimum. Nu naught will not be the minimum, isn't it? Clear? So whatever it is, so it is falling on the surface of the metal, the photoelectrons are being ejected out, because when it is falling, then only the photoelectrons are ejected out, and these photoelectrons is being, the current is being carried in this particular direction, and the conventional current is carried in this particular direction, by which it is being proved that when the electrons of minimum frequency falls on the surface of the metal, then the electrons are ejected out of the surface of the metal, and it carries a current, and that current is called as photoelectric current. We can say that. And the phenomena is called as photoelectricity. Now here one thing you must remember it, that the velocity of the electrons which is being ejected depends upon the frequency. Alright, listen carefully. The velocity of the electrons which is ejected, which is being given out from the surface of the metal, depends upon this frequency. It depends upon the frequency, the velocity of the electrons. It does not depend upon the intensity of the light used. It does not depend upon it. Depends upon the frequency of the light used. Got it? And it's independent of the intensity of the light used. You know what is intensity? Next is the number of photoelectrons ejected is proportional to the intensity of incident radiations. What I said? The velocity of the photoelectron depends upon the frequency of the light used. Velocity depends upon frequency, mind it. But the number of photoelectrons which is ejected depends upon intensity. If more is the intensity of the light, intensity you understand, brightness. More is the intensity of the light, more number of photoelectrons is ejected. But of the same frequency. But if the velocity, if you want to increase the, the velocity of the light, more velocity, then you have to use a higher frequency. Alright, if velocity of the photoelectrons you want more, then the frequency of the light should be more, not the intensity. So velocity depends upon the frequency. Alright, but number of photoelectrons depends upon the intensity. Now, this particular observation was clubbed up. Which observations? Observations of photoelectric effect, observations which you got from black body radiations was clubbed in a theory which is called as Planck's quantum theory, which I am going to say you now. Thank you.